First of all, fresh cut. You see me. All right. So, Charleston White decided to make his way to my alma mater this week. And I never thought that I would see him, of all people, at my institution. So, if you are unfamiliar with what occurred this week, someone on campus approved a campus forum where there was a bunch of different things discussed, but I think the overall majority and gist was, snitching and how it affects our community and other things that we play into as a black community that is actively hurting our community. If you know anything about Charleston White, Charleston White is a character. When I was working at a news station in Dallas, Texas, online he portrays his character and persona and all this type of stuff. Like, for those of you who aren't familiar, like I said, I was working in that market. So, I was familiar with the type of stuff and type of antics and things like that he was pulling. When he says that he goes into communities and he tries to help, he does do that. So I'll give him that, right? And his whole thing is, when he was talking positive and he was speaking positively about things and issues that affect our communities, no one was really paying attention. I recall, there was a point in time where he had locks and braids as well. And he was on the news talking like this. And I feel like if we don't fix these things in our communities, that's how he was talking when he was being interviewed by the news, right? So his whole character and first of all, he'll tell you that he's a character, right? So my thing is, if you've seen all the stuff that he is involved in online, it's a clear example of why he should not be anywhere near any historically black college or university. He has openly worn the Confederate battle flag. I don't know if he put that on clothes or whatever. I don't know. During the time when, I don't know if he's still streaming. I know he has a YouTube channel. But during his streaming times, this was the time where he had locks. He had a big Confederate flag behind him while he was talking and wearing it, and F-N words and all this type of stuff. So he'll tell you that he's a character. So my thing is, whoever at my illustrious institution did not do their research and allow him to come on campus to talk to the impressionable young minds of students ages 18 to 22, that was a fail, first and foremost. Let's just get that out the way. But this also brings up another issue in our community also. There is a segment of our community who cares more about being entertained than they do informed, right? These kids today, when I was an undergrad, the internet was out, right? But like, for example, Twitter was just becoming a thing. When I was in high school, Facebook was just being created. So it was new, it was fresh. Like, there wasn't any negative forces that had infiltrated social media at that particular point in time. Like, there were no trolls or anything. Like, if you remember, Facebook used to be so exclusive to where you had to join a school or a university, and you could only interact within those. Like, you couldn't interact with outside of those, right? So it kept down confusion. It kept down whatever little petty high school drama and beef that you had or whatever like that, right? But now the internet is different today. So if you are an adult who I'm sure has social media as well, there's no way that you did any research on Charleston White and decided that he should be on the campus of Tougaloo College talking to students about whatever he was talking to them about. And then we saw the antics and we saw him walk away and run away from discourse and things like that. But first of all, if you don't know anything about Tougaloo College, it's a historically black college and university, if you didn't know that. Second of all, if you know anything about civil rights, if you know anything about your history, did you know that Tougaloo College was pivotal in the civil rights movement? There were meetings held. You got the Tougaloo Nine. Do your research. Stokely Carmichael has been on our campus. Martin Luther King Jr. has been on our campus. Tupac Shakur has been on the campus of Tougaloo College before. So to allow someone like that access to our illustrious university is disheartening. So every voice or every person who has an audience or they're an influencer of some sort, that does not mean they are influencing you to do the right thing. That does not mean they have something positive to say. It does not mean they have anything of sustenance to say. So I am ashamed of my alma mater. However, this is a situation where I hope whoever held this forum that was not supposed to be held, I hope they are disciplined. And I hope the appropriate discipline is levied against him. However, again, with us as a community, we have to stop being more enamored with personalities and influencers, and we have to stop being enamored with being entertained more than we are about learning and growing as a collective. See my thoughts.